Kia ora mai tātou whānau, ngā mihi ake aroha te wā nei. In this session today, we're going to look at one of our most common types of Taonga Puoro, and that is Kōauau. Kōauau. So one kōrero that I've experienced and heard is where does the name Kōauau come from? And one kōrero is te auau o te kuri te pō. Auau o te kuri te pō. Au. And the auau comes from the dog barking in the still of the night, or the evening, nighttime, the dog barking. Au. And so what does that have to do with Kōauau? Well, in the times of our tupuna, our tupuna would often make Kōauau from the leg bone of their pet kuri. If their kuri had passed away, obviously like we do, many of us do now, we love our kuri, our dogs, our pet dogs. The same for our tupuna as well. And at that time, they would take the bones after they had passed away, and they would take the bones, the leg bone, the shin bone of the kuri, and create a kōauau from that to honour the life of the kuri, and so that the kuri's life could continue through music, to honour that connection that our tupuna had with their kuri. Fast forwarding into my lifetime, it's in a similar way but a little bit different. My first ever kōauau that I made was made from the leg bone of a sheep, the hippie, kōauau hippie. So during my time when I first started to want to make kōauau, I was having a Sunday roast with my mum, and all I had back then were pictures of kōauau, and I didn't really have any idea on how to make those. My mum got sick of me talking about these pictures, and she said, hey, why don't you walk the talk and make one out of that bone on your plate right there. And so I took my mum's advice and took the lamb shank, the bone, that's often in the roast, and using my hacksaw and a small drill, I created this kōauau over 20 years ago now. So it's been in the wars, this one. And yeah, so the auau sound comes through in the kōauau, going back to our kōrero about raukatauri and the he tangi hotu, that quivering sound. So you'll hear that in the bark of the dog as well. From the distance. And so you can hear that in the sound of the kōauau. So the type of instrument this is a kōauau hippie. Right? And just like you and me, each Taonga Puoro has their own personal name. So we are ira tangata, or humans, but my personal name is Jerome. Ka pai? This type of instrument is kōauau hippie, or kōauau, and its personal name, very simple, hippie, or sheep. And yeah, that's a beautiful kōauau for me, because this is where my journey started. What Taonga Puoro was from the guidance of my mum, and listening to my mum, and then creating this beautiful kōauau hippie called hippie. Nō reira, e hippie tēnā koe. Later on during my journey with Taonga Puoro, I was given the opportunity to work with some albatross. So this is the wing bone of a tōrua, very special, significant manu or bird. And this comes from the wing bone of the albatross. So when we're looking at the whakapapa of Kōauau, it's very similar to the pūtorino. Tāne, honu kia pepe tuna. And then when they came down, ka puta ko Raukatauri, they had a daughter called Raukatauri, amongst others. Raukatamea is also another daughter of them, joining. Honua hine Raukatauri kia Tāwhiri Mātea. So hine Raukatauri joined with Tāwhiri Mātea. And Tāwhiri Mātea is one of our atua of the winds, one of our gods of the winds, And there's many. But Tāwhiri Mātea is one of them. And Tāwhiri Mātea comes in the physical form through our breath, Through our breath. And so when we're breathing this air, when we're breathing the cleansing winds of Tāwhiri, then we're able to hold our Kōauau and ka puta te Kōauau. So, hine Raukatauri, Tāwhiri, ka puta ko te Kōauau. One of the beautiful things that happens for me when I'm playing these different Taonga Puoro, and in particular this one here, the Kōauau Tōroa, is that I'm reminded of the experiences that are associated with the creation and what was happening in my life at the time. To me, many different experiences. So how I got given this wing bone of this albatross was very, quite a sad story, but still very special. And so one day I had a call from a kuia in Wanganui, and she makes a lot of korowai, that's her mihi, is korowai. And she rang me and said, "Hey boy, I've got some albatross here that I was given, and come around and we'll have a little hui and we'll talk about maybe you can have the bones." And so I went around to visit this beautiful kuia, and she told me that she had been given these albatross, and because these albatross had been caught on a fisherman's long line. It was quite a sad story. He went out fishing with his long line, and when he pulled in his line, he had caught fish, but also he had caught 8 albatross. And so with the tōroa, what happens is the albatross, they'll fly far out to the ocean, okay? And usually they're looking for this type of squid that has a short life. And the squid, once its life's over, it will float to the top of the surface of the moana, the ocean, and it'll just bob around there. And the tōroa, that's their favourite kai or food. And they'll fly out to the ocean, and most of them are out there looking for kai for their babies. So the albatross take turns, the mama will fly out to the ocean, and the papa will wait there on the nest of the baby, and then they sort of tag in and tag out like that. And so the baby was waiting at the nest there for them to bring back the food. So these albatross are out there, and and probably would have mistaken the bait of the long line of the fisherman for that squid. So flying down onto the ocean floor, and the ocean surface, and eating that, what they thought was a squid, and then, pulled in and caught like a fish. So this fisherman had caught 8 albatross, and whatever may have happened after that, they ended up in the hands of this kuia who makes beautiful korowai. So when I went around to her whare, there she was with these on the lawn there with these albatross, and they were really big. This particular albatross where this wing bone comes from was as big as me. Its wings were as long as my arms. Its body was the exact same size as my body. Her legs came down here like this, and her claws reached down about halfway to my shins. When we lay, as she was laying down on the ground there with her head back and her beak, she was as big as me. I lay down next to her to make those measurements and was amazed at the size of these birds. They're very big, large, beautiful seabirds. Their bones are super strong because they fly thousands of kilometers. And they're some of the most efficient birds at flying long distances because they glide with very minimal effort. They're very rarely flapping their wings, only on takeoff and on landing. Otherwise, mostly they're gliding on the currents of tawhiri mate, the winds, and they're the most majestic, beautiful manu that you'll see flying in the sky. So we carefully took those manu and started to remove the feathers for the kuikui so that she could have her feathers for her korowai. And that was a really big job. It was a really big job. We hung those toro up in the trees and washed them down and slowly started to remove the feathers over time. It's a really long process. And after even more time, months went by, the bugs and the insects ate away at the meat, and then all that was left eventually was the bones. So it took about 6 months before these bones started to appear, and once that happened, we took them down and we kept all the bones because you can use the different bones for different taonga treasures that we can create. One of the main treasures we can create is the Kōauau tōroa. So that comes from that part of the wing bone. And yes, when I play this Kōauau tōroa, I'm often transported to the time of the life of the tōroa, and I imagine I'm flying high above the sea, gliding effortlessly, gliding gracefully, like the majestic tōroa, like the majestic albatross. And so perhaps you can close your eyes and imagine that you're sitting on the back of a tōroa, flying out into the ocean. So koina te kore o te Kōauau tōroa. This was gifted to my partner at the time, in the spirit of our ancestors and our spirit of our tūpuna and our traditions. A lot of kōauau are also used in the time of courting somebody for romance. When you fancy someone, our tūpuna would let their intentions be known by playing the kōauau. And so at that time, I was getting to know my partner before we were officially together, and I was creating this kōauau to acknowledge that connection and that beautiful time that we had together. And so the name of this kōauau is Pūkenga, the sound or the song of my deep emotions. And so as mentioning again, just like you and I have our own names, our own personal names, so do our Taonga Puoro. So the momo or the type is a kōauau, but your name is Pūkenga. And kōauau could be played and used for many different reasons and still are to this day. Sometimes we play the kōauau at tangihana to farewell our loved ones. Sometimes we might play the kōauau gently at the birth of our babies. And you know, at that end of life, and at, as I mentioned, at the other end of life, to play the kōauau to farewell our beautiful loved ones as they journey to the other side. Also, in my experience, what I've noticed is the kōauau can be played at tangihana really to help our family, the whānau pani, and the family to help release those tears of grief te tangitangi. And so those are some of the uses around kōauau. O te kuri te po, paku kōauau tōro. E tangi, kia he wara, kia he wara.